Writing, it turns out, is more than just inscribing words down on paper someplace. In fact, that really was all the earliest writing was. They took words and they inscribed them down, and they did not include spaces, even in the words. In fact, some early writing systems didn't include vowels, they just had the consonants, which made deciphering the exact words kind of tricky. But few early writing systems included punctuation. Punctuation is a relatively new innovation in the world of writing, and it's a very, very useful one if you're talking about conveying meaning. A famous example of how a lack of clear punctuation can have earth-shattering consequences is in the Bible. The early versions of the Bible did not have punctuation, and when Christ is on the cross, he turns and looks to his side at one of the thieves on the cross and says, I tell you today you will be with me in heaven. And this lack of punctuation in this sentence has caused a great deal of theological debate among people who study such things. Is there a comma in the sentence? I tell you today you'll be with me in heaven. Is there a comma, I tell you today, comma, meaning at this time, that you will be with me in heaven at some point in time in the future? Or does the comma indicate that I tell you, comma, today you'll be with me in heaven, meaning as soon as you're dead, you go right up to heaven? The early Bible writers did not have the tools of punctuation at their disposal, and so a great deal of theological debate and uncertainty and doubt has gone on about the nature of when one might end up in heaven after one's death as a result of a lack of having clear punctuation put in place. I doubt that in your writing, and I could be presumptuous here, but I doubt that in your writing you're going to be creating ambiguity with your lack of punctuation that can open up theological debate. However, you certainly can confuse a great many of your readers about the things you're talking about if you do not use punctuation clearly. Here's the trick. Punctuation is made to help the reader understand what you're saying by putting in the natural pauses and breaks that you have when you speak. Between every word, we have, if someone's speaking clearly, a space. You can understand between each different word where those spaces might go. Commas, question marks, periods, apostrophe, quotation marks, all of these punctuation devices are echoes of verbal aspects in your speech. If after you've written a sentence or a paragraph, you read out loud your work, if you're stumbling about, you know clearly that your punctuation is not correct. It's not a foolproof method. Perhaps that there are errors in the way you're reading as well, but it's a great rule of thumb. It's a great way of making sure that you can weed out punctuation errors in your work. As you go through the activities in your book, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I look forward to seeing your conversations about the use of punctuation in our discussions and in the lecturettes. Thanks.